Pastor Greg with you on Tuesday, sharing the devotional thought. We have been going through 2 Corinthians for this week and last. Yesterday we talked about the importance of our spiritual growth as we give, and in fact how God encourages us to give. He asks us to be a cheerful giver, and as we get into the habit and we overcome our own selfishness to give, we grow as disciples of Christ. Talking about disciples of Christ, Paul has to deal with a bunch of false disciples, a bunch of apostles who are preaching a different gospel to him. No matter where Paul went, and no matter what churches he planted, no matter where he preached the gospel, there were always others who came along and wanted to add things to it. Oh, look, you can be a follower of Christ, but you have to follow the law. You can be a follower of Christ, but you need to do these things. Oh, you can be a follower of Christ, but God demands this of you. And Paul, quite rightly, corrects the Corinthians, just as he corrected the Galatians, that the gospel of God is simple and it's pure, and any gospel that comes that tries to add to the work of Jesus Christ is false. And for us as Christians, as we grow in our maturity, our ears need to be attuned to anything that says, I will add to the work of Christ. This needs to be our bottom line. The work of Christ is everything. The work of Christ is supreme. The work of Christ is sufficient in every way. Our response is different, and that comes from our heart of love, as we talked about yesterday in terms of our giving. But our relationship is secure, our destiny is assured, everything simply because of the work of Christ. And Paul now speaks some words to 2 Corinthians as he speaks against these other false apostles. And it starts in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, the first 4 verses. I hope you will put up with me in a little foolishness. Yes, please put up with me. I am jealous for you with a godly jealousy. I promised you to one husband, to Christ, so that I might present you as a pure virgin to him. But I am afraid that just as Eve was deceived by the serpent's cunning, your minds may somehow be led astray from your sincere and pure devotion to Christ. For if someone comes to you and preaches a Jesus other than the Jesus we preached, or if you receive a different spirit from the spirit you received, or a different gospel from the one you accepted, you put up with it easily enough. Paul here is making the point that don't go looking for complexities that are not there. Jesus doesn't try to hide things from us. He's not trying to make it difficult. Even though it's hard for us to understand grace in its simplicity and its beauty, this is what he asks us to offer, to accept in his name. So the devotional thought is, Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, as if he was from God. False teachers do the same. We need to judge everything by the message of Jesus. And we pray, Lord, guide me in the truth. Your word is truth. Amen.